Welcome back to the Puzzle Detective. Today we're doing something a little different. A lot of times we work with numbers. Today we're working with letters in a puzzle called Alphagrid. Let's go back to clue number 4. The letters in row 5 can be rearranged to spell quack. Well, we've already placed 3 of those 5 letters. The only 2 letters from quack that we have not placed are K and Q. Once again, it's perfectly fine. If you have a pencil, what I like to do is write those letters in a little bit light so that they erase very easily, and once we get it narrowed down, erase it and then go ahead and put the final letter in as we continue. Let's move on to clue number 8, because this is one that's going to help us move along here on our puzzle. 4 squares separate T from M. Well, we've already decided that both the letters T and M are going to have to fall into column D. In order for us to separate them with 4 squares, we're going to have a letter and then 1, 2, 3, 4 squares and then down at the bottom. So basically what this clue is telling you is that both T and M are going to have to be the top and bottom letters. It's the only way that we can get 4 squares in between them. So let's eliminate P and I, leaving T and M. Now if we know that this is M or T, this one also is M or T. It has to be one or the other. This can't possibly be T any longer. We can now solve this, and we know that 4D is in fact P. Let's eliminate P from here. We also can eliminate M and T because those are our top and bottom letters. That leaves only one possibility for this square, I. The remaining part of clue 8, the continuation says, 4 squares separate T from M, which is immediately above a vowel and in the same row as J. Well, if M is going to be immediately above a vowel, it can't be the bottom square on our puzzle. And as we look up here, we do have an I. We can now determine that M does in fact go above a vowel, I, leaving T at the very bottom. We can erase our clue there. Very good. Now we also know as we finish out that clue, M, which is immediately above a vowel, and in the same row as J. We can now determine that J is going to go somewhere in row number 1. While we're at it, let's take another look at row 3. We're going to be putting all of the letters for the word growl in row 3. We already have the O, the R, and the L. That leaves only the G and the W. It's time for us to take a look at clue number 9 now. And since G has to be immediately to the right of a letter from the first half of the alphabet, it cannot go in the center square. It would make it immediately in front of the letter W, or immediately to the right of the letter W. W is not from the first half of the alphabet. So we have to put G here and W here. G is now immediately to the right of a letter from the first half of the alphabet. Letters from the first half of the alphabet here are all conveniently located on the first row, and then the second half of the alphabet are, of course, the letters from the bottom row. Also, G is immediately to the right of and immediately above letters from the first half of the alphabet. We know that this letter down here is going to have to come from the first half of the alphabet. B is still available. D has been used. E is going to be used over here. G has been used. P has not been used. So oh yes, P has been used here. So this is either B, it can't be T, it can't be V, it could possibly still be Z. Those are the only 2 letters that still rhyme with the letter E and would place the G immediately above. Well, in order for a G to be immediately above a letter from the first half of the alphabet, I guess that would kind of eliminate Z, wouldn't it? And so we can now place B below the G, thus satisfying clue number 9. G is immediately to the right of and immediately above letters from the first half of the alphabet. We can cross off clue 9 and we can eliminate B. And let's return to clue number 1. This is one on first pass. It seems like a clue that's not going to be very relevant until we have a lot of the other work done. But now that we have plenty of the letters established on our grid, we can go back here and say no letter is in the same row or column as a letter it immediately precedes or follows in the alphabet. Let's take a look at row 4. Row 4, we happen to have a D in the first box. Our choices down here in this last box are either V or E, but because E immediately follows D in the alphabet, that would violate clue number 1. We now know that this is V, and that leaves our top square in that column as E. Let's eliminate V and E from there and also from our rhyming letter list. That leaves only one more letter that rhymes with E, and that is Z into this row number 4. We can now eliminate Z from our list. Let's go back through our clues and see if we can find out anything else. F is immediately above S. Well, that's interesting. F is going to be immediately above S. We can't use either of these squares because we know that these two squares are going to be either K or Q. We know that F immediately above S means that F is going to have to go into this top column. This is either F or J, F or J. S is going to possibly go here or here. Once again, we return to clue number 1, which tells us that the letters in any column or row cannot be next to each other, either in front of or in back of each other in the alphabet. We have G in column B. F is immediately before G in the alphabet. We can now place J in the first square, F in the center square. Returning to clue number 10, F is immediately above S. We now know that the square just below F is S. Again, narrowing down a lot of our selections and letters. F, S, J are all gone. D has also been eliminated, and I hadn't crossed that one off. We can cross off clue number 10. F is immediately above S. J, T, and M have all been placed. We can cross off clue 8. We only have 2 clues remaining. The letters in row 5 can be rearranged to spell quack, but we still need Q and K. Do we have any letters that will violate our rule? Well, here we go. If you look here, we've got K and J cannot be in the same column because they would precede each other in the alphabet. We can now solve for Q. And K, cross them off of our list. And I believe that to complete the puzzle out, we only have 3 letters remaining. Y is gone. We've already placed Y here. So the letters remaining are H, N, and X. H, N, or X. H, N, or X. G and H cannot be in the same column. W and X cannot be in the same column. H and I cannot be in the same row. Therefore, with H gone from here and H gone from here, leaves H only for the center square on the bottom row. W, X, Y is the final connection here. We now know that this is going to be N because X and Y cannot be in the same row. That leaves X for our bottom square. And with that, we have completed our alpha grid. We'll be back with more of The Puzzle Detective right after this.
Every chess situation is a puzzle waiting to be solved. Here is today's Puzzle Detective chess puzzle. White to move, mate in 1. Do you see it? I'll reveal the answer when we come back.